Let's talk about Pam Bondi a little bit, because she is Donald Trump's second attorney general pick. The first one, Matt Gaetz, took his name out of the consideration. Then he picked another Floridian, Pam Bondi, who served as Florida's AG before. Who is she? Because she isn't a national name in the way that Matt Gaetz was.
Well, Pam and I go back a long ways. In fact, it was a conversation I had with Pam in a very cold day in Baltimore that sparked her interest and ultimately her decision to run for attorney general. And then I was with her all through the campaigns that proceeded from there. She is a boots on the ground, hit the ground running kind of person. She's got grit, she's got experience, she's got strength, she's got compassion, and she's got the ability to communicate. She's very real. I remember when in the first campaign for Attorney General, Brittany, we did a focus group with 12 people, 12 women actually, and wanted to get their impression of Pam versus the rest of the Republican field. And they all, by the end of that focus group, all said, we like Pam. And the head of the focus group, the moderator, said, why? There was a universal answer. We trust her. There's something about Pam and her presence and her command of facts and, of course, her background that engenders trust and belief. And I think that's something that has not been maybe in long supply in the Department of Justice for a while. So I think she's going to do very, very well. And if you want kind of a measure on how she's regarded, well, law enforcement really loves Pam because they know she's always had their back. Other attorneys general really like her for everything she did as attorney general on both sides of the fence. And one of the unknown stories is one of the people she liked a lot when she was attorney general was an attorney general on the other side of the fence. His name, Beau Biden. And I think they had a tremendous relationship because even if they disagree philosophically, ideologically, legally on some issue, they really, I think, enjoyed working kind of in parallel to each other and sometimes with each other to get things done. I think that's the kind of attorney general America is going to grow to love.
And I think that's important, and that's something that seems like, politics of the past, of where you can separate your political differences and come together, and people do want to see that. That has been obvious this past election season. So what do you think the DOJ would look like under Pam Bondi?
Well, that's something she's going to have to figure out once she's confirmed, right? I think it's going to be, there are going to be a lot of new dynamics to the Department of Justice. I think the first and maybe most important thing they need to do is to rid the perception that the Department of Justice is partisan sensitive as opposed to partisan blind. I think that's very important. Pam has been a law and order type of player from the beginning. She really loves the law. She loved becoming a lawyer. I remember her commencement speech I attended years after, not her commencement, a commencement speech for others that she was actually the guest speaker for. She loved talking to these young men and women who are about to get into the practice of law. I think she's going to be a serious lawyer. And the good thing about her ability to communicate is she's going to be able to make, I think, people in America understand even better what the Department of Justice is doing, why they're doing it, and why it makes sense.
And obviously you and Pam Bondi go way back. As you said, she is replacing Matt Gaetz. Are you happy that he's out? And do you think that Matt Gaetz is a litmus test for Trump's cabinet picks, where it's almost like, okay, he crossed the red line there, but these other controversial picks, as long as they toe that line, they might get confirmed?
Well, I think Matt is a unique case. Obviously that didn't work out. He never got to the real starting line on a confirmation. I think Pam was an easier pick for the president, frankly. But if you look across the board, Brittany, at others that have been nominated, Marco Rubio, wow, you talk about, as much as Pam is central casting for attorney general, how do you find someone more qualified and ready to hit the ground running than Marco Rubio, who has tremendous foreign policy chops and experience and feel, and will do something I think we haven't seen from the Department of State in a bloody long time. I think there's going to be a lot more focus on our hemisphere, Latin America in particular, where it goes for Marco goes beyond where his parents came from in Cuba, It goes to the entire Southern Hemisphere. And I think there's an opportunity for the United States of America and the countries that populate this part of the world to pull together and do for each other more than ever before. You get into nearshoring, you get into security treaties. But I think he's going to be very exciting. He believes, like President Trump does, by the way, no surprise, peace through strength, a Reagan doctrine, right? And he believes in projecting that not only in conversations with our allies, but more importantly, our competitors, and our adversaries from Iran and Russia to China. And I think you'll see that from him. Remarkably good pick.